1 in 3. That's how many American men will face physical violence, sexual assault, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 3 women worldwide will endure physical or sexual abuse, most often by someone they know. But domestic abuse isn't just bruises. It's manipulation, it's fear, it's control that seeps into every part of your life. I'm Ingrid Dutton, and I survived it. Then I created 1 in 3 so no one else has to suffer in silence. Each week, we break that silence together. Occasionally joined by survivors, loved ones, and experts, we talk about the pain, yes, but also about the healing, resilience, and the fight to reclaim your life. This podcast is more than awareness, it's a lifeline. And a reminder, you are seen, you are heard, you are never alone. Search for 1 in 3 wherever you get your podcasts, because every voice matters and every story deserves to be heard.
I warned Harvey at the time. I said, if you make this movie, you're going to have some problems. If the devil's greatest single weapon is to be invisible, and you're going to do something which is going to take away his invisibility to millions of people, he's not going to want that to happen. Robert Munger.
Oh my goodness. That is
Isn't that
so creepy.
Creepy cool?
Oh my goodness, I have goosebumps.
Do you? Oh, yay. Goosebumps are good. So, hi.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi. Hi, Ingrid.
Welcome to another situation. What? No. Welcome to another situation.
No, I'm just saying your name. Yes. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. I certainly did.
Twice.
So today I'm going to cover the movie The Omen and how it is cursed. Boo. Nope. Not sure what that was.
That's right, folks. We decided to do cursed movies and we didn't even tell you.
Nope. It was a secret, not like a secret society.
Which, by the way, if you are not following us on our social media, Jessica found a picture of Life magazine with secret societies on the cover. So naturally, we posted it to our social media, showcasing the fact that we are indeed trendsetters.
We sure are. So thank you, Life magazine, for listening.
And thank you, Life in general.
Yes. And if you have cursed movies coming on your cover next, we definitely know you're listening.
Hashtag us or something.
Yeah, give a shout out to your 2 girls. Goodness.
And you're welcome.
Okay, so my sources, not resources. Oh gosh, I'm in social work brain. Okay, my sources are cbsnews.com, ranker.com, Wikipedia, Looper, independent.co.uk, The Guardian, Horror Obsessive, Omen.fandom.com, Grunge, and theheraldscotland.com. So I'm going to dive right in. The Omen followed in the footsteps of 2 of the most successful horror films of the 1970s and hoped to use the popularity of those films to attract audiences. Producers should have been warned that there were also film sets that were haunted. In the end, The Rosemary Baby's Curse and The Curse of the Exorcist may not have only given The Omen their desirable audiences, but also their forsaken curses. Oh, there's a bug. Oh, I killed it. Whoops. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. So the film was directed by the now deceased Richard Donner. It was written by David Seltzer, who also wrote Punchline. I'm not familiar with that movie. And it starred veteran Hollywood actor, the late Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, who played Damien's mom. Oh, Gregory Peck was Damien's dad. David Warner was in Titanic and the Star Trek franchise, and Harvey Spencer Stevens, who was the little boy who played Damien. So producer Harvey Bernard was well aware of the Hollywood gossip that had The Omen lined up as the latest in a long line of cursed films, and he started wearing a cross on set. He's to quote him, "I wasn't about to take any chances," he says 30 years later. "The devil was at work and he didn't want that film made. We were dealing in areas we didn't know about, and later on in the picture, it got worse, and worse." All right. So for those of you who did not grow up in the 80s, like my sister and I, and you probably didn't watch The Omen as children, I don't know. That is like the scariest movie. Like I could watch that movie as an adult and still be freaked out.
Well, we watched it what year did it come out? Did you say?
76.
Okay, we didn't watch it in 76.
No.
But I don't know how old we watched it, but I know we were home alone. And we were not
young.
old enough to where we should have been home alone. And it was nighttime.
Mm-hmm. I think I was Damien's age because I remember he had a 5th birthday party. And I remember thinking I didn't have a party when I was 5.
Okay. Well, so maybe you were 8. Let's give our parents a little bit of credit here.
Okay.
So I would have been 10.
But we can't give them that much credit because we can't rent videos at that time. So they must have rented the video and allowed us to watch it. It's not like we stumbled upon Netflix and found it.
Yeah. Well, carry on.
All right. Okay. So obviously this is about The Omen and the cursedness of The Omen. So for those of you that did not watch it, here's the plot. I don't think I'm ruining anything for you. So there was Damien's dad, he was a U.S. ambassador to Britain, and his name was Robert Thorne. And his wife, Catherine, had their baby died during childbirth. And so instead of telling her that their baby died, he met with the Catholic priest there. And the priest is like, "Hey, please adopt this son. His mom died during childbirth. Your son's died. Your wife will never know." And so the dad's like, Gregory Peck is like, "Okay, great idea. I will take this baby, father, and it'll be great." So they took the orphan baby boy. They named him Damien. 5 years later, Damien is having his 5th birthday party when his nanny hangs herself in front of everyone. Like, do you remember that scene? She's hanging in front of the house, I believe. Like she hung from the rafters, or not quite sure where she hung from.
And isn't he just looking like nothing happened? Like not...
Yeah, almost like adoringly at her death. Like, yay, she's dead. Anyways, so after this, a new nanny called Mrs. Baylock, who's played by Billy Whitelaw, she arrives with a Rottweiler that acts as a sort of guardian for Damien. Other strange deaths and tragedies follow in the wake, including a particularly outrageous tantrum by Damien when they try to carry him into a church, which will come into play with the curses.
I remember that scene so very well.
Okay, so Robert Thorne is told by Father Brennan, which is a different father, that he should investigate Damien's background. Thorne soon discovers that his own son was murdered at birth on purpose. Do you remember the shot of the grave? Like they dug up his dead son's grave. And do you remember what was in there? Like this memory sticks out in my head.
Well, I don't know if it was his. I remember there were bones of a jackal.
A jackal and a baby with its skull's like crushed.
Oh, I don't remember the baby part.
Yeah, they're like laying next to each other. Oh, anyways. You know, if you haven't watched it, there's no possible spoilers. It came out in 1976, so sorry.
No,
I'm not.
So is the jackal this baby's mom, supposedly? Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Ooh, Jesse.
So what?
When you're here, let's watch The Omen.
At night?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Great. I'm sleeping in your room, by the way.
It's totally fine. I insist upon it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so murdered and died on purpose. Oh, so that Damien could take his place and that the child is the son of Satan himself, aka He's the Antichrist. His protectors now do what they can to ensure that all obstacles are removed from Damien's path, leaving behind a trail of bodies. So that's the gist of the movie. Now we're jumping into real life. So I separated it into deaths, lightning, coincidences, and bombings. So these are part of the curses that started this movie. So in June of 1975, 2 months before the filming of the movie started, Gregory Peck's son, Jonathan, was found to have shot himself in the head. There was no note, but his death was ruled as a suicide, and Peck was devastated at the loss. He actually refused to do any movies, and he just went into seclusion. But however, his agent brought the role of Richard Thorne to his attention since he wanted Peck to channel his grief into a project, despite the fact that the role was a man who must kill his own son. Yeah. But Peck signed on. I know, this, what an amazing actor. He signed on and he arrived on set in an understanding, morose mood, powered through, and was rewarded with The Omen being one of his most financially successful films. So that was the first death, was his son. And his son was actually pretty amazing. He had 2 sons. His younger son actually had a substance abuse problem as he grew older, and they were worried that they would follow in Jonathan's footsteps. But Jonathan, he joined the Peace Corps, and he did all these great, wonderful things. But obviously something was not okay with his life. But on the surface, it looked like he was happy. Okay. How many people can you say that for? A lot. All right. Anyways, so there was a scene. So during the scene, when Damien's mom was driving through Windsor Safari Park, she was having difficulty with the gear shift, which this is actually true, which caused the car to stall in the baboon area at the park. The baboons went wild and began jumping on the vehicle. The scene that remains in this film to this day was Damien's mom, Remick's genuine, fearful reaction to the incident because the car was not supposed to stall in the park.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yes, and these baboons were triggered to freak out. And one source I saw said that they actually had a baboon in the car, but that was the only one that said that. So, okay. So according to Richard Donner, who was the producer, I think, or director, her fearful screaming was completely real. And okay. And this is where I talked about the crew placing a baboon inside the car. One place said that. So she was freaking out because the baboons were going crazy. And at that same park, earlier in the day, it was actually later in the day, but there was supposed to be a lion scene at the zoo. And so they filmed this lion scene, and then they went to the baboon park, the baboon part, to film the baboon part. And so one of the guards accidentally left his guard booth door open, and 2 of the lions went into his guard booth, attacked, and killed him while they were filming that.
Oh, no.
Yes. I don't think they knew it when they were filming the baboon parts. I don't think they were aware.
So those 2 things were happening at the same time?
Same day. Mm-hmm. Same day.
Oh, gosh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Gregory Peck, he was supposed to go on set to the film for a scene, which actually ended up being delayed to a couple days later. So since he was not needed, the private jet the company had chartered was canceled. So the next day, the cast and crew found out that the plane had been hit by a flock of birds while it was taking off, crashed, and killed everyone on board. So per everyone's eyewitnesses' experiences, the plane took off, hit a flock of birds, the engine stalled, and they crashed onto the end of the runway. Unfortunately, the plane skidded off the runway and hit a car, which happened to contain the pilot's wife and 2 children, who also died.
What?
Right. Mm-hmm.
How does that even happen?
Well, birds, if they get into the engine.
No. I get that. I get the bird thing. I don't, what are the chances that the plane is going to hit his family?
I mean, maybe they were sitting there waiting for his plane to take off, and they saw it taking off, and they decided to drive away, or they were parked. Because they remember, maybe you don't remember, but some airports used to have where you could sit and watch the planes take off.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much protection over over airports. I wonder if they were sitting at the end of the runway, like looking to watch him take off. Yeah. So freaking sad. So freaking sad.
Aren't there like a lot of bird scenes in The Omen too?
There are birds, and there's also lightning actually plays a big part in the movie too, as like a side effect, as an effect. Okay, so that is death number.
Not a side effect.
Not a side effect.
Okay,
you know what I mean. Visual effects. Okay, so that's death number 2, death number 3, death number like 50. Then I don't know how the number of people on board. They can't estimate it. It's no source actually said an amount. Okay, so this is probably the creepiest one. So after helping create special effects for The Omen, designer John Richardson was on location in Holland. He was working on a new movie with his girlfriend, who is also a special effects sculptress, and her name was Liz Moore. So as they're driving back home on an empty road one night in Holland, they hit another car head on. Richardson, the driver, was knocked unconscious, but Moore, his girlfriend, was decapitated when one of the front wheels tore through the floor and hit her. As Richard came to after the crash, he thought that the tragedy was a creepy coincidence to a horribly gruesome decapitation scene he designed for The Omen, and it's where the photographer is decapitated by a sheet of glass.
That's actually, I thought you were going to say like the wind chills came through and did it, because I was picturing.
No, but this gets creepier.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he also said he saw a road sign off to one side of the accident that pointed to the town of Omen, Ommen, and it was 66.6 kilometers away.
No.
I saw that in multiple sources.
No.
I was even in CBS. The CBS article had that in there.
Did they have pictures of that sign?
No.
There's no way.
Well, is there no way? I mean, something could be 66.6 kilometers away. Although I've never seen like the 0.6, but I have never lived in Holland, so I don't know what their road signs are like. Or is there a town in Holland called?
Why didn't you Google this?
Well, because I like the mystery.
You're Jessica.
I like the mystery, and y'all can figure it out for yourselves. Okay, now moving on to the lightning. So in October of 1975, while they were still filming, Gregory Peck was on a London-bound plane on his way to filming when the aircraft was struck by lightning. The bolt caused one of the engines to catch fire, and the plane came very close to crashing into the Atlantic Ocean. 2 days later, or one source said a few weeks, so I'll throw that in there, producer Mace Newfield was on his way to LA from London when his airplane was also struck by lightning while crossing the Atlantic. And he said it was the roughest 5 minutes I've ever had on an airliner. So after those 2 strikes, within 2 days, screenwriter David Seltzer rode an airplane that also got struck by lightning. So it appears that a curse may be happening because those 3 planes, 3 people. And if those 3 were not enough, producer Harvey Bernard came extremely close being struck by lightning on set while filming in Rome.
I don't like this at all.
See, the lightning, like I want to play off, but I do remember there's like a scene of like, psh, 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 you know, like the old sound effects and lightning happening in the back.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like it.
But then, I mean, we do need to take this with a grain of salt. I don't know how many planes get hit by lightning. Actually, I don't know of that many that do nowadays.
I think it happens a lot. It's just the planes are designed to absorb it so that it's not a noticeable thing.
Well, yeah, you have static wicks to absorb. Like we had those in the Navy, but
I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. You would know more so than I.
But that's what I'm trying to say is that lightning really didn't hit. I've heard of more bird strikes than I have of lightning hitting in the 5.5 years I was aviation. I don't know. So within like a couple weeks, all those things happening, maybe over the Atlantic, it's more prominent. I don't know. So this one, I didn't quite know what to call it, so I called it coincidences. So one of the Omen's most memorable scenes involves Gregory Peck trying to escape a cemetery after he dug up the stuff while being attacked by a group of extremely vicious Rottweilers. Several carefully trained Rottweilers were utilized for the film and were instructed to attack a stuntman in Peck's place. The stuntman was safely enclosed in a layer of protective padding, and the dogs were set loose, but something went wrong. They didn't listen to their trainers. They started attacking their trainers, and for reasons unknown, the dogs began really attacking the stuntman and were so vicious their teeth went through his protective gear. They ignored their trainers when to stop. Luckily, the stuntman survived.
How did they finally stop?
So they were attacking the trainers too. So I must think that whatever kind of frenzy they were in, they came to when they were attacking, like when the trainers became involved, because the trainers did get attacked as well. So I'm assuming, what I thought is that the trainers got involved somehow.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
And I think that's why I was scared of Rottweilers for a while. I'm not anymore, but I think this movie is probably why I was. Okay, another coincidence. Stuntman Alf Joint, not the same stuntman. He was done filming scenes for The Omen, and he went to work on A Bridge Too Far, which I can't say I've watched that movie. So for one of the shots, he was supposed to jump off a tall building and land onto an airbag, which he'd done numerous times before. No issue. Like, it sounds pretty easy, you know? This time, however, he jumped in an awkward way and landed not on the safe pad, but instead on the ground. He was seriously injured and he was rushed to the hospital and again, luckily survived. When he regained consciousness, he said he felt like he'd been pushed. Although there is no proof of his claim that has been found, the fact that he jumped suddenly and in an unusual way looks like he was telling the truth.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Right?
So is he thinking by like a person or some demonic presence?
Well, there was no person behind him because it was on film. Like, that part was being filmed. There was no one behind him. So
I
it was
don't
a
like this.
presence. Don't worry. I'm almost done.
I'm not happy with this episode.
All right. So there was bombings. So while staying at the Hilton Hotel in London, Mace Newfield, who was I forgot what he was, he and his wife were given an early checkout when the Irish Republican Army blew up the building of their hotel. Just blew it up. But the IRA was blowing up buildings all over London, so take that with a grain of salt. So luckily, neither of them were at the hotel, and they weren't killed because they had the early checkout. Several days later, Newfield, other producers, and Gregory Peck were headed to a restaurant that they had reservations at. And right before they arrived for the reservations, the restaurant was bombed by the IRA. Yes. So, although many people view these scary incidents as part of the Omen curse, considering the IRA was involved in a large number of London explosions at the time, them escaping twice may actually just be a miracle and not a curse. You know, because they survived. Yeah. I don't know. That one just seems like that's probably more coincidence. Okay, so there's some ideas of how the curse came to be. There was a black magician by the name of E.A. Coding. He said that a curse can only exist if it is given power and pushed into existence or pronounced into existence, whether it be by another black magician or a practitioner of witchcraft. So what he thinks is that someone said something, and because of the power of the movie and the power of everything going on when they were filming it, like, it made it come to be a thing. So that's what he's saying.
Hold on. Do you mean like black magic magician?
Yes. I missed the word magic, didn't I?
You just said black magician.
Oh, no, I meant black magic. Twice. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, black magic. My bad. Okay. So another ongoing theory is that Satanists were not pleased by the I don't know why I'm laughing at that. By the way that their religion was portrayed on film. So they were the ones that had something to do with the evil aura of so many bad things happening during and after the film.
But from what I understand, Satanists aren't Satan worshipers, right?
I don't know. I mean, ask me if I watched like the Geraldo Rivera when he had Satanists on there back in the 80s. Like they were Satanists. I think they like said like Hail Satan in that episode or something really dramatic.
So don't ask me who in 6th grade tried to do a term paper on
Procter and
Satanism.
Gamble. You tried.
Well, that's what it.
Yes.
No, I tried to do it on Satanism.
Oh.
But I actually tried to do it on Satanism. The teacher had to meet with mom and dad. I think the pastor had to meet with mom and dad. Everybody was worried about me. We went to a religious school, if you don't know that. And the library would not let me check out or use any books that were actually about, say, you unmuted yourself and moved a bunch of papers.
Sorry. Sorry.
The library
that was a great time of the Satanic Panic. Of course they were freaking out.
Well, yeah, but the library wouldn't let me check out anything that actually had to do with Satanism. So the only thing I could get was Procter and Gamble and Are They Satanists?
I remember that.
That's all I could get is like these weird different connections to like, oh, this product might have had some Satan dabble in there or something. I don't even know.
I don't remember what it was either, but I remember after you talked about that paper, I looked at like the shampoo I use or like and like the body wash, and it was all made by Procter and Gamble, and I was like, oh,
everything.
I'm a Satanist.
Everything was, yes. Everything was P&G.
Everything was P&G. But what's so crazy is because later I did a term paper speech, I can't remember what it was, on witchcraft, and everyone like readily gave me the information on that. So witchcraft, okay. Satanism, no.
Satanism at the brink of satanic, not the brink. It wasn't the brink. It was the height of the satanic panic.
It was the height. It definitely
and I think I wanted to do it because I saw that Geraldo Rivera.
We watched it together. Why do our parents let us watch this stuff?
Oh,
and they got in a huge fight, like on screen. I think that's when Geraldo's nose got broken. I think it was crazy.
I thought he had the coolest job, though. I wanted to have that job.
Yeah, he's a DB though. Okay, I'm almost done. All right, so the aftermath of what happens after The Omen came out. So the real life Guildford, I might be saying that wrong, cathedral. It served as a very prominent backdrop in the film, but after The Omen was released, the priests had trouble getting people to attend mass there. After the building sent Damien into a terrible rage, which he was foaming at the mouth and trying to bite his mom. It was in the movie anyways. The local congregation was a bit too freaked out to visit, and their fear was still active more than 30 years later. In 2008, an armed man was spotted on the church grounds, and police were called. Helicopters were brought in, and eventually the man was shot and killed by the authorities on the same cathedral steps once appearing in the movie. It's possible that the building has a curse as well. And then also there's an article from June 3rd, 2006, which discussed the lasting effects of the Guildford Cathedral. So it emerged that the negative connotations of the scene of Damien, foaming at the mouth and trying to bite his mom, overshadowed the Guildford Cathedral, where it sat for 30 years. The then cathedral's dean, I couldn't confirm if he's still dean, Victor Stock, used the release of the remake of the film to launch a scathing attack against all those concerned.
You are horrible with the papers, Alice.
Oh, sorry. Anyways, so Stock believed that The Omen should never have been produced in the first place, and he urged audiences to stay away from the remake version that was released that week in 2006. The film follows the assimilation of the son of the devil, Damien, into an ordinary family who are soon the center of tragic and bizarre events. The story takes its inspiration from the Bible's book of Revelation, which predicts the rise of the Antichrist. In regards to the original Omen, Stock, the dean, said it was a disaster. It should never have been done. People who were a bit thick were frightened to come into the building. If I was dean then, I would have never allowed it. After that, the damage was done. And then he said, I'm not sure if anyone is that clued up about fact or fiction. Like, this guy's just ruthless. The clergy at the time were not very savvy about culture that everyone took for granted. With hindsight, it has been a mistake. So the dean went on to describe how the cathedral staff had a battle with locals to get them in to visit after the 1976 film portrayed a wedding at the cathedral. And that was the reason why Damien was thrown into a rage. Like, the closer he got to the cathedral for the wedding is when it was bad. And he said it was terribly difficult. You had to deal with people personally. Like, threw that in there because really, you're a dean. Of course you have to deal with people personally. But anyways, so he also criticized the involvement of British actors in the new remake of The Omen, and referred to recent incidences of exorcism and witchcraft alleged to have taken place at churches in East London. So that is the curse of The Omen.
Well done. So creepy. I'm not pleased that I have to sleep alone. I always sleep alone.
You got dogs?
Sometimes I have a little 6-year-old in my bed with me. It makes me feel safe.
You also have dogs. You're good.
Oh my gosh. That was so creepy.
Right? Isn't that crazy? So crazy. I was reading all this stuff. I was like, no way. There's no way that's true. And then, of course, like, all the sources are not, I mean, we had the Independent and the Guardian, which are, and CBS News, which are actual, like, news publications. But
right.
Yeah, the rest were. But all those, like, those three things. Oh, and the Herald Scotland. Like, they all said the same things. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
Who knows? Like, is it a curse, or is it really, like, sheer coincidence? And I would like to say it's a curse, because that movie still terrifies me. Like, there's just something so terrifying about it. And that little boy is so stinking cute.
But he's so terrifying.
Well, he's a good actor. But, like, if you just look at a picture of that little boy, like, he looks like my son with brown hair. And actually, that little boy, when he first auditioned, he didn't, like, they dyed his hair brown. I don't think that's his natural hair color. It didn't say what it was, but.
Can you share a picture of him?
I'll see if I can find a public domain one. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do these.
Go ahead.
Be wary of swapping out babies.
Be wearing a cross or a rosary, which is what some of the cast and crew actually started doing.
Don't be messing with the occult.
Oh, yeah. That quote from that guy is spot on, though. Like, I feel it is just spot on.
I would have gotten that, and I would have been like, you know what? That's a good point. I'm out.
Well, and so the whole intention of the movie was to bring people closer to God. Like, the guy that said that quote, like, the reason he sent it to the writer and the producer and the director was because he wanted to have a movie to bring people closer to God because of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. And he's like, I think we need a come to Jesus kind of movie. Fail. Definitely. I don't know if it did. It sounds like it didn't. It scared people away from that cathedral. Anyways. All right.
Well, into maybe other cathedrals. Hopefully. I definitely think I started praying more after that.
I think we even checked each other's hair. Like, do I have a 666 on my head?
Oh my God, we did.
Yes.
100%. I totally forgot that.
Gosh. All right.
We were too young to watch that.
Way too young. So
this is why you get a daughter who tries to write a term paper on Satanism.
Exactly. This is how it happens. Don't be the Antichrist. Just don't.
Don't do it. Okay, well, next week we will be back with another cursed movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Sleep tight.
Oh, bye.
Bye. If you'd like to reach out to us or submit your situation, please contact us at anothersituationpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at Another Situation Podcast. We're also on Facebook at Another Situation.
Another Situation is produced and edited by Point 5 Pinoy. Music is written and performed by Tim Crow.